I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request. This is Vonte. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any other type of videos or topics, reactions, reviews, randomness, out of the blueness, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this was an interesting one where Vonte is asking me to rank the Jason Voorhees characters in the Friday the 13th series. Now, this is not a rank of my favorite movies, but the rank of the Jasons based on the look, the kills, and whatever merits you could give for each one. Again, this is not based on favorite movies. It's based on favorite Jasons. So I had to think about it for a bit. I would say this after I did a drink because now my voice is closed off. Sorry, but I know it's great content, me chugging water. Number one, my favorite is Part 7, The New Blood. Kane Hodder, his first time playing Jason. John Carl Buechler, may he rest in peace. Now, not only directing the film, but helping work on the effects of the look of Jason. Part 7, The New Blood's my favorite. I love the way Jason looked. I love that John Carl Buechler said, I want to put in the damage he has had in the past. So, like, his mask, part of it's fucked up. His spine is showing. When you see his face, I love the look of that face underneath. It's like a part skeleton, but at the same time just really nasty looking. And the way Kane Hodder played Jason, the way that he had the heavy breathing, the way he would turn and then go towards it, you felt the anger of Jason in that movie. And he's just, and also his stunt work, because Kane Hodder was a stuntman, that really came into play. So Jason could do quite a bit of stuff, like jump through windows and have stuff land on him and have all this stuff that Tina with her telekinetic powers do to Jason. And Kane Hodder could play off of that because of his expertise in stunt work. And plus, with the kills, if you see the theatrical cut, it's bare bones. But I have a copy of the film where someone took the VHS and then they took the kills, put them all together. So technically I have an uncut version of The New Blood. And you know what? I'm fine with it looking like a VHS because it's Friday the 13th. I don't need Friday the 13th to be in HD. Friday the 13th is one of those films that kind of belongs on the VHS. Where, yeah, it's nice to see in HD, to be honest. Yeah, to be fair. But I don't mind seeing it on VHS because Friday the 13th is not Blade Runner. And my knee, I guess, agreed with me because I was moving and it tipped the stand. The computer's on. not Blade Runner 2049. It's not, the new Marvel film. It's Friday the 13th. And sometimes the HD makes it worse and you see more of the strings, so to speak. The gaffs. So yeah, I technically have an uncut version of Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. And the kills, when you see it uncut, like the one guy, he squishes the head into a fucking pulp, a peanut. That's pretty fucking graphic. He takes an axe and gets someone in the face, and you see like a coochie face, like, because the axe split the guy's face open. That was a cool kill. Punches a hole through someone's chest. Bernie, the actor from Weekend at Bernie's, Terry Kaiser, you see that Jason got the weed whacker, split the guy's stomach. I know it's not fair to say because most people it's the theatrical cut, but again, for me, my list, I saw the uncut version. It was VHS quality, so what? I liked it. And, yeah. Pretty damn good kills. Love the Jason in that. Part 7, The New Blood, and it's one of my favorite entries in the franchise. So, Part 7 is my favorite Jason. Part 6, my second favorite would go to Part 6, C.J. Graham. Again, I like the way he played him. Not as well as Kane Hodder, but because he had a bit of a... but he did it fairly well. He had a military background. They had another guy play him. I forget who. I think it was for the paintball sequence of the movie. And you could tell Jason seemed a bit... I don't know if fatter is the right word. But the rest of it, C.J. Graham, again, that military background and, a decent look to him. That's the start of the zombie Jason. And, yeah, I think it helps that I really do like Part 6, Jason Lives, is one of my favorites. I do like the kills, because now that Jason has more superhuman strength from being back from the dead, that one he actually punches a heart out, like rips someone's heart out, like he was Kano. There's this girl in the RV, and the guy's driving. Jason takes the girl in the RV and smashes her face into the wall. You see the wall grow an indentation of her face. I always thought that was a pretty cool kill. Even the kill, the triple decapitation of the paintballers, slamming the guy's face into a tree, breaking the sheriff's back into a wishbone. I thought those were some pretty... I think he even throws something at a guy's head. It's not a ninja star, but it might as well be. He throws it like a ninja star. And then that poor lady that did nothing to him, but for some reason Jason was pissed at this girl, literally paint the walls red with her blood. I'm like, what the fuck did she do to you, Jason? This poor girl did nothing wrong to anybody, just like bashing her all around like a rag doll. Of course, Part 7, before that I didn't even mention the sleeping bag kill, which is a good kill. But back to this, like, yeah, I like the way, a little bit more military strides that C.J. Graham gave. The look of Jason, didn't mind it. Let's see, the kills worked well. Wherever the red dot goes, you bang. And yeah, it helps that 7 and 6 are some of my favorite entries in the franchise. So it'd be 7 and 6. Then I would go probably Part 3 for Jason. Richard Brooker, may he rest in peace. I think that's the best human Jason, because when he takes the mask off, I like the way he looks. I thought that's a nice approximation of the older version of the Mongoloid Jason in the first movie and the dream scene. Like, if he was an adult, that's what he would look like. And I just liked how energetic Richard Brooker was. Like, he's very animated as Jason at the end. Like at the end when the guy pops out and he just kills the guy, he keeps chopping the guy to make sure he's dead. And when he gets hung, he lifts up and he lifts up his mad to teaser. Like, hey, bitch, I'm back. And that's another thing with this Jason. is they gave him a bit of weird, creepy. I always say this is the creepiest Jason. This is the type of Jason who could fuck you and kill you, or kill you and fuck you, and you don't know which one it will be. Will he kill you and fuck you, or fuck you and kill you? Because you have that flashback where it looked like Jason wanted to rape Dana Kimmel's character. Now, yeah, it doesn't make sense because in the flashback, Jason is bald and looking like the Jason in this, when we all know in part 2, Jason had hair and had, Farmer John outfit and a mask, like a burlap sack. But even without the burlap sack, again, he had a bunch of fucking hair. I guess in between he got himself a haircut. Maybe he shaved his head. I don't know why. After you get a machete in you, my first instinct is not to shave my fucking head. But I mean, when you look at the Friday the 13th, there's a lot of stuff that like. I love the Friday the 13th films, but there's a lot of stuff, how the fuck does that work? Again, when did Jason shave his head? I don't know. I don't know. So that flashback, I'm like, well, technically that flashback, it should have been the way Jason looked at part 2. Or, whenever the hell that flashback took place. When did that flashback technically take place? But, I mean, the actor, Richard Brooker, I like the almost frenzy he would have. And, of course, the first time Jason has the hockey mask, which is iconic. And the way, like, when you see his face, it's almost like you play with his tongue. It just, seem like the creepier Jason. And not too far behind would be part 4, Ted White. I know people would say Ted White they like more than Richard Brooker. But again, Richard Brooker, I give him the edge because, again, that the creep factor that Jason could also be a rapist. Not just a murderer, but like that Jason I could buy if you told me, oh, he's also a rapist. Like, he's not bad enough, he's a murderer, he's a rapist. Like, I could buy with that Jason. But Ted White did a good job in part 4. Again, with the way he moved, like the bit when he breaks through the door, goes out to Tommy Jarvis and the sister, or jumping through the window to grab Tommy Jarvis, Corey Feldman's character. Again, the way the mask looked, the way he looked himself was fine. The kills, part 3, I didn't even mention, like, the kills. I do like quite a bit of the kills, my favorite being the handstand. I would say that's actually one of my favorite deaths in the whole franchise, is in part 3. The guys with the handstand. Well, God, I guess, apparently agrees. Because if you hear that, it's thunder. So God apparently agreed with my choice. He likes the handstand kill as well. Where the guy's the handstand, Jason just like, fuck you! Right between the guy's legs. It's like, that's the clincher. That's why I call it the kill, the clincher. Because you just clench your legs when you see it. Like, that may be my favorite kill. It may be my favorite kill. Just like, makes you want to grab yourself and make sure, yep, it's there. I don't know why it wouldn't be there, but Also, the harpoon to the girl's eye and eyeball being popped out. Yeah, it doesn't look the best because they had to try to do the 3D thing, but it's still fun type of kill. So, number 4 also had good kills because of Tom Savini coming back. Where's the corkscrew? And then Crispin Glover hand in the corkscrew and then right to his face. I think that's the one where the one guy is swimming and he gets harpooned and lifted up by his crotch. It also has the most depressing kill, where the one guy who is hunting Jason because someone he knew died because of Jason, and he's in the basement, and Jason's just killing him, and you don't see it, but you just hear the guy crying, "Go, go! Oh, he's killing me!" I'm like, no shit, he's killing you. But it's just the way the guy acted it, and it's one of the few deaths we don't actually see. That seemed a bit creepier. One of the more creepier kills in the series. I guess I should mention at the beginning, one of the gorier is The one guy who gets his head fucking twisted around after getting like a fucking saw to the neck. It's like, ew. Yeah, nice work by Tom Savini. And yeah, Ted White did a good job. I like the look of the mask. I had no issues with it. So yeah, 7, 6, 3, and 4. This is going to be controversial. My next pick is part 9. Jason Goes to Hell. I don't mind the look of Jason in that. With the bumps and stuff, I never minded it. I like the idea. It looks like the mask is like in the skin. Kane Hodder comes back. I think Kane Hodder... I would pick Kane Hodder as my favorite Jason performer. I like the way he plays Jason. People say, well, Jason's not in it much. Well, he's in it more than part 1. Technically, the hockey mask Jason is in it more than part 2, because there's no hockey mask in part 2. And you see those early Jason films, it's mainly POV until the third act, and then you get a bit of Jason. But it's mostly POV that you're seeing of Jason Voorhees. Then when you actually go back and watch those Friday the 13th films, count how much you actually see Jason in the hockey mask. In part 5, technically you only see the real Jason in a nightmare sequence. Otherwise, it's another guy wearing a hockey mask. As a hockey mask with the blue check marks on it. So technically you have more Jason than in part 5 and in part 1. And the hockey mask more than part 2. But I mean, what do I know? But I've always loved Jason Goes to Hell. I love the movie. That's the one reason. I love the kills. It's the goriest Friday the 13th. It has the goriest kill of all the Friday the 13th, where the couple's having sex and the girl gets skewered in half. You go, oh shit. There's also the woman getting elbowed and her chin goes into her face. You have the head crush and the fucking blood explodes from the top of her head. Really good, gory, nasty kills. Again, it's the goriest of the franchise. And I don't mind the body hopping like the Hidden. Maybe because Friday the 13th films are never films I took seriously. I enjoy them like I enjoy McDonald's. I don't take McDonald's seriously. I just enjoy it. Same with Friday the 13th. I don't take it seriously. So, I mean, we've already had by part 7 a telekinetic girl like Terry fight Jason. And he was a human. What was about his mom. And then it's Jason as human. And then he's undead, a zombie. Then Terry fought him. I was fine with the direction. It didn't bother me as much as other people. And I had fun. And I like the lead guy, John D. LeMay. And I also like Stephen Williams. I like Jason Goes to Hell. Only is that bad for part 9. Where they try to do something different, not just repeat the same fucking thing over and over again. Like Halloween 2018. Which just did the same shit. And then Halloween Kills just going to do the same shit. Now, you may do something different and fail, like Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, in my opinion. Just my opinion, but at least I tried to be different, unlike... Although I did say Halloween 2018 was better than that. Well, as in, you know... There was a lot of issues with Halloween 6 because of the producer's cut, but it's not really the cut because it was messed around with dimension, because Weinstein's like to mess around with films. So either version there's big flaws because there is no true vision, because even back then they were messed around, and there's a whole other issue. Whole other thing. But yeah, going back to the topic, like I said, never minded the look of Jason. And it's still the spirit of Jason killing people. If it's strictly on, it's not hockey mask Jason, does that mean people hate Friday the 13th Part 2? Since there's no hockey mask in that? Does that mean people hate Friday the 13th Part 1? That's another one. People go, there's no Jason. There's no Jason. There's no Jason in the first movie either. Except a little kid who did nothing but jumped out of a fucking lake and looked, "Ah!" And there's no hockey mask in Part 2. But I mean, what do I know? So yeah, Part 9 it is in my top 5 Jasons. I'll admit, Jason Goes to Hell is my personal favorite Friday the 13th because I find it a fun, entertaining movie. They try to be a bit of an action, like a little bit of the hidden, the Terminator vibe, where a guy's got to protect his baby, his ex-wife or girlfriend, his baby. So it gave the characters a bit more of a motivation than just, let's party, have sex, and do drugs. So yeah, I like that there's a bit more motivation to a character, which I thought was nice to see when he get to Part 9. But I do like most of them except Part 8. But yeah, Part 9 is my 5th one for Jasons. And then I would go with Jason X for Jasons. Yeah, I don't know why, just Jason has hair. But I don't mind the dirty, worn look of the hockey mask. I think Kane Hodder still does a good job portraying Jason. I do like the cyber Jason, Uber Jason. I wish more was done with him. That's a disappointment. Is that you didn't really get to see a lot of kills with Uber Jason. I thought that was a mistake. Well, I think that Jason should have been halfway through. Halfway through the film, he turns to Uber Jason, and then he starts knocking people off one by one. Like, okay, now he's been modified. What other crazier kills can we come up with this Uber Jason? They didn't do that. So, but I still like Jason X. I think it's a dumb, fun B movie. I do. And I like the look of Uber Jason. You still have some good kills. The woman that gets her head frozen and smashed. It's like, is definitely, made me turn a bit. And he has a pretty decent sized body count in that as well. But I would say that the woman getting her head frozen is probably my favorite death. I'm trying to think of the other deaths. Oh, when he knocks the one guy off and he falls into impalement on the screw. Like the big screw drill thing. Some of the deaths are kind of like, now that I remember. Just like one girl gets pulled out into space. One guy self-sacrificed. One guy gets killed off camera. Well, a few of them get killed off camera. Like the guy was like, he wants his machete back. He was off camera. Even the pilot who looks over and sees Jason. No, he gets fried. No, never mind. He gets fried. That's what happened to him. That wasn't off camera. But the guy's like, he wants his machete back. He got killed off camera. So I would say compared to the other ones, that's maybe a little bit step down. But the fact there are more kills kind of helps. But yeah, I think some of the kills could have been more creative in that one. So I think that's another reason why it goes a little bit step down in terms of Jason. And then again, like having hair on the back, it looked like just Kane Hodder put on the mask, boom. Which pretty much was. There's really not much makeup. There's never a point where you take off the mask, we see what's under it. So, I mean, a few of those reasons why it goes a little bit further down the list for Jason's. Next up is Friday the 13th Part 2. Because I do like the burlap sack mask, but I like the hockey mask much more. And that's why 7, 6, 3, 4, even 9, I like the hockey mask more. Much prefer over the burlap sack. I don't mind it for what it is though on Friday the 13th Part 2. I thought Steve Dash did a decent job portraying it, but a lot of it is POV, so it's not like you've seen him physically do stuff a lot. It is usually it's hidden, kind of like it was hidden in the first one, or maybe you see a knife going towards the victim on the screen. It's not really until the third act that you get to see Jason when he's fighting and dealing with Amy Steele. And Steve Dash did fine. And it was Steve Dash, may he rest in peace, not Warrington Gillette. And Steve Dash did fine, but there's not really anything that comes to mind that really makes me take notice about his performance as Jason, or about the look of Jason, or anything of that sort. Because I like the film more for, there's some decent kills. The double impalement with the spear. There is footage of that. In fact, someone took the footage from the Scream Factory and they did an uncut version of Friday the 13th Part 2. And they actually added in, because the footage on the Blu-ray of the Scream Factory had no sound. Whoever edited it, they actually put sound into it, so which was cool. So technically I have an uncut version of Friday the 13th Part 2, which was nice to see. And yeah, stuff like that was cool to see put back in. So yeah, technically, well, the first one's uncut, but there's barely anything different. Jason Goes to Hell was uncut. So technically I have an uncut version of Part 2 and Part 7. And I think online you can find someone who did one for Part 6. Sadly, the one I would like to see the most, well, despite what I said about Part 7, if someone's like, here's an HD, like we did for the My Bloody Valentine 1981 film, here's like the uncut in HD, yeah, I would see it in a heartbeat. Despite all the stuff I said about VHS. I'm just saying, it's either nothing or VHS, I'm fine with watching the VHS quality of it. But if someone did like My Bloody, but that will never happen, because that is long gone. Like, they have footage, but it's the way that footage was brought. You need the original negatives in order to actually go in and fix. And that's like, you take a 240p YouTube video, you can't do much with it. You need the original and then tweak it. Same with, film footage. You need the actual negative, and then you could tweak it any way you want. But yeah, Part 5, I was saying that Part 5 would be the one I'd be curious about seeing an uncut version. But again, that footage just doesn't exist. Not even deleted scene form. So, which is too bad. But yeah, Part 2, I do enjoy the film. But yeah, the Jason, went down a few notches for me compared to the others on the list. Then it's Part 5. I still like the hockey mask. The little blue thing, it makes sense why, because it should not be the exact same hockey mask. That'd be a bit weird. It's another hockey mask. But I'm just saying, if I'm comparing the two, the hockey mask with the little red stuff on just looks better than the little blue. And like I said before, there's no way to see the kills. Even, someone did an uncut version. Like Friday the 13th Part 2 and 7 you can find online. The fan did. You can't do that for Part 5. So that's an instance that no matter what version you see, the kills are very much hindered. And it's a big body count, but you don't see anything. There's some interesting ideas, like the shears going to the eyes in one bit, but yeah, and I do like Part 5, A New Beginning. There's a lot of issues, like it's not Jason, and who the fuck the killer is. There's no mystery to that, and there's also many questions you get asked, like why the fuck would you give a crazy guy an axe? You just asking for trouble. But yeah, all those aspects, and it's why it's down the list. And then the last three I'll say oh shit, I didn't do the reboot. Where would the reboot be? Fuck, I forgot that. Almost forgot that. The reboot, Derek Mears, would be... That's tough. 763... Jason. You know what? For Jasons. You know what? I'm going to put him as my third favorite, Derek Mears. I know it's controversial, so it'd be 7, 6, and then the reboot. I did not the movies, the Jasons, because I really, really liked what Derek Mears did with Jason. You know, I don't mind the way he looks with the clothes. Although it's a little bit like Freddy vs. Jason, which I'll get to that. But it's more just the way he played it. I thought the mask looked well. It's bald, which I think just looks better on him. If he's not the undead Jason where he's all rotted up, if he's the human Jason, I think he just looks better bald than just straggles of hair here and there and there. So boom, he got the bald look. And just the way he was a very vicious Jason. Where he's throwing an axe into someone's back, or he's coming up, and just the energy. Like, that's the one I felt the most energy with when I look back. I felt it with Richard Brooker and Ted White, but the most by Derek Mears. How he would move, he was like vicious and ready to tear you apart, and it's a fucking shame Derek Mears did not get to go play Jason, because the way he's also a big fan and he was really excited for the role, he would have played Jason 7 more times, I bet. But then they didn't make the sequel, and then all these rights issues, and then that was 2009. So it's been over 10 years, and I'm the guy that's tired of fucking sequels of franchises. But if someone said, what's one franchise you'd be open to seeing a sequel to, it would be Friday the 13th. Because Friday the 13th, again, maybe because I don't take it seriously, and maybe because it's kind of McDonald's comfort food fun. And like, if you did a sequel in the snow with Derek Mears, I'd be fine with it. But can't do that. And there you go. But yeah, I really did like Derek Mears as Jason. And yeah, the kills are alright. Not the most imaginative. It's more of the down and out basics of kills. Which that could be one of the issues you could say. You do wish there were more creative kills. But, you know, the kills work for what they need to be, and for the start of a new series of movies, I'm alright with that. Sally didn't go anywhere. So it'd be 7, 6, the 2009 Jason, then Richard Brooker, Ted White, Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, those Jasons, part 2, 5. And then in the last 3 were 8, Freddy vs. Jason, and the first one. Part 8, I hate the Jasons in these last 3. Part 8, his mask looks like it's covered in piss, or someone pissed on it for a while because it's piss yellow. It's because it's been in the water for so long, but still, it just makes it come off as piss yellow. He's always gooey. Anytime he goes somewhere, there's fucking slime everywhere. When the face comes off, when his face should have come off. When the mask comes off at the end, he looks like clay face. Like someone just put clay and shit on his face. You know. Look fucking stupid, like a fucking dunce. Fucking goof. Because he is a goof. That Jason, at least. The kills, other than knocking the head off, you know, for the longest time, I'm like, it's a bad film, but I'll watch it. No. It sucks. If there's one Friday, the 13th I would say, well, there's two. Never Hiked in the Snow can kiss my ass the most. This is the second kiss my ass the most. Never Hiked in the Snow can suck my balls, but, you know, Jason Takes Manhattan, I'd rather take his shit on the movie. Fuck that. And, you know, I don't think it's Kane Hodder's fault. There's nothing wrong with his portrayal. It's just the way Jason looks. I think the director did not know what the fuck he was doing. Rob Hedden, whatever the hell you pronounce his name. Freddy vs. Jason, I hate that Jason. 8-foot tall motherfucker. I mean, Ken Kirshner seems like a nice guy. But I'm sorry, that should have been Kane Hodder. And I did not need to see an 7-foot tall Jason Voorhees. He looked, because one wanted the Frankenstein monster quality, which is not Jason. But, you know, just the way I hate the way his mask looked the worst. It's like the mask didn't fit the face. It's like the mask was too big for the face, or the mask wouldn't like curve, or it was too fat, or something. Like the way the mask looked, just looked off. The way it's on his head, because it can't. Maybe his face is too big for the mask. I don't know. And then like the tuft of hair, and on the back of it, just have him be fucking bald or not bald. And his clothes, which they carry over those clothes for so many other fucking times. People do memorabilia for Jason. They always have him in the shitty clothes he's in that look like he took off a hobo. So his clothes, gangly tall, like he's ready to play basketball. He's gonna be dunk someone's head in a basketball hoop. Larry Bird of slasher films. I just the film itself, I don't hate the film. I like Robert Englund. I like some of the stylishness, but it's gone downhill a bit for me. I can't say I love the film as much as I did back in the day. But I don't hate the film. Again, this is not a rating of the films, it's a rating of the Jasons. I keep saying that. And the worst Jason is part 1, because it's just a little kid, Ari Lehman, and I'm sorry, dude, all you did was jump out of a water and go, "Aah!" That's all you did. A mongoloid kid, you're a kid, you had makeup on, you jump off onto a fucking boat. The end. That's all you did. And how lucky he is that he gets to make all this money at conventions, and that's all he did. That probably took a day. Hey kid, puts this makeup on, you jump. I could do that. Anybody could have done it. You jumped on a fucking boat, that's it. Nothing to that, Jason. And even that ending is confusing in retrospect, because, like Alice, how would Alice know what Jason looks like? Yeah, Mrs. Voorhees talked about Jason, but did Mrs. Voorhees ever describe to Alice what Jason actually looked like? Just people just saying it was a dream, it was a dream. Okay, if it was a dream, how the fuck did Alice know what Jason looks like? It's not like she saw newspaper clippings, it's not like Mrs. Voorhees actually explained what Jason looks like. So Alice just somehow knew? And if it was for real, now why the fuck are you dragging her to her death, but then she's still alive? Jason must have sucked ass as a killer back then, or where the fuck he is. So, and that's because there were meant to be sequels and stuff. But, I mean, in retrospect, that ending is confusing. If it was a nightmare, how did Alice know what the fuck he looked like? She wasn't told it. She didn't see newspaper clippings of it. And then, again, with if it wasn't a dream, why didn't Jason kill her? Again, maybe he sucked ass at it. He's like, fuck it, you live for now. Or if it was meant, I guess no. It has to be a nightmare. It has to be a nightmare because Jason is full grown in part 2, so it has to be a nightmare. Yeah, it has to be. It can't be an actual Jason. So she had a nightmare. So okay, it is a nightmare. So she had a nightmare of Jason because it can't be real. Because again, the next film, which is like a year after the first film, Jason's full grown. So it's a nightmare. So if it's a nightmare, again, how the fuck does she know? And why the fuck did she say, then he's out there? You had a nightmare, but you still think Jason's out there. Because you had a nightmare about this kid that you never saw because you somehow know what the fuck he looks like. Oh, fucking no, man. Then 76349X. No, wait. 76 the reboot. 76 the reboot. 349 Jason X. 258 Freddy vs. Jason, and 1. That'd be my ranking of the Jasons. Now, if you're... yeah, I wouldn't... The TV series doesn't count because Jason's not in it. It's just based on the title alone, Friday the 13th. So, can't rank a Jason who's not in it. Yeah. Not sure what else to say. Other than thanks for watching, take care, and we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.